I managed to summon all 3 the dragons, so let's have a look at what they do and how their skills work. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Summoners War Chronicles content, and catch me live at twitch.tv/ExilerJ. So first off we have Zaiross. His basic attack is 165, skill 1, attacks 3 times doing 147.8% of attack as damage. It applies attack down, and every time he applies attack down, he does an additional fireball to a random target. So he can apply a lot of attack downs, right? Attacking 3 times 50-50 chance, and it will do more hits, as I will show you over here. And then when he uses a skill, while using the skill he gets crit resistance 100%. Only while he uses the skill though. Okay, skill 2. So it increases the skill cooldown of enemies within the area and attacks 3 times. Each hit has a chance to apply Oppress. And additionally, upon successfully hitting an enemy summoner, it decreases the target summoner's mana. The damage of this attack is proportional to the difference in attack between itself and the target. So the higher his attack, the bigger the difference, the more damage. Seems pretty good. I think the mana decrease thing can be really strong. And obviously Oppress, only Howie has this and the Fire Dragon now, so it's a very rare harmful effect, so it's probably a very good monster to summon on. But we will see. And then the ultimate is the same as skill 2, but it does attack 5 times. It has 80%, it increases skill cooldown by 80%. Does damage, Oppress, and again decreases mana. And all his skills seems to be increasing his crit resistance by 100%. His book effect is attack and crit damage for effect 1. For effect 2 it will be accuracy, and for effect 3 it will be crit rate. So that is Zaiross. Next up we have Verad, the water dragon. 165% of attack as damage. And skill 1. So this is the dragon that is very similar to Genos, right? They said this is gonna be the dragon that will have very similar skills to Genos. Just to remind everybody or the people that doesn't know about that. It attacks 3 times and each hit has a chance to apply defense down, which is really strong. The last hit has a chance to do knockdown, and if the target is knocked down, he will do skill 2. So very similar to Genos. Also stun and freeze also counts. Okay, then we have skill 2. Skill 2 applies spell shield to himself only for 3 seconds. It has a triple stack. It attacks 3 times in the area and each attack has a chance to do freeze. You can, if you have 2 or more targets frozen, you will do Chill Explosion 1. And this attack ignores beneficial effects that reduces the damage taken. So it's a pretty strong skill. Then if you freeze more than 2 targets, it does a lot of damage and it deals more damage the lower the target's HP is. And it also gives you mana regen speed up when an enemy is defeated, so pretty strong. His ultimate does the exact same thing, just higher numbers on everything. As you can see. The rate on the freeze is lower, but it does 5 hits. Book effect is attack and crit rate. Let's have a look at the other 2. Attack accuracy and attack crit damage. Crit damage is a really good one for him, I think. Then we have Jamire, the wind one. As you can see, his basic attack is really way higher than the rest, 200%, and for every time he attacks a target that is... If the target's current HP is lower than him, then he will heal the team member with the lowest HP on the team for 4.3% of max HP. Okay, then we have skill 1, Thunder Break. Releases its breath to deal damage based on its max HP to the enemies within the area. Notice how he support while the others were mages. Each hit has a chance to apply damage taken up. In addition, he also gets attack speed up, level 2. Pretty big rate to do this. It is very consistent, I would say. So he deals a little bit more than 34% of his 35% of his max HP as damage. And then skill 2. Now this dragon, I tested him and it seems really good. He recovers the HP of his allies and he cleanses 2 harmful effects. and upon successfully removing a CC effect from a team member, he also applies immunity to them. Now when you look at this skill, it doesn't look that great, because it is a 5 mana cost, but the passive is what makes it so good. He has a passive where he becomes immune to all CC effects, and when the enemy applies silence or root to the team members, he does Illusion of Time 2. And what it does is it heals the allies on your team, and it cleanses 1, and it removes silence and root. And upon successfully removing silence or root from a team member, he applies immunity and he heals. So it's basically like skill 2, but on top of doing what skill 2 does, he will always remove silence and root, and it has a 7-second cooldown. I've tested this, and this skill seems to be really good against the Fire Paladin Ophelia, and also the Light Monkey, unironically. I haven't tested it against the Dark Weapon Solera yet, but I tested it against Ophelia and the Light Monkey, and it seems to be a really good counter to them. They are huge meta right now, so maybe he will be a counter pick finally to some really overpowered monsters, I would say. We'll see. Let's just say those monsters brings too much value right now, so they need some counters. And then we have his ultimate. It just heals, cleanses everything, and it gives you immunity if there was a CC effect on your team. Book effect is HP and attack speed. Let's have a look at the other two. Attack speed is really good since he has the basic attack. Okay, accuracy and crit damage. Both are pretty useful. Okay, next up we have Zerath. His basic attack seems to be normal. Then we have skill 1, decreases his current HP by 20%. He gets Endure for 10 seconds. Decent damage, not too much, and crit rate down. That is what skill 1 does. Then we have skill 2. He heals the allies within the area based off of his attack. He does continuous recovery, and he also applies crit resistance up to the team. And if the target that he's healing is a light attribute, he does an extra level of continuous recovery, which is pretty interesting. And then the passive is what makes him. He has more damage dealt up, and he has damage taken down for every 1% of HP missing on him. So for every 1% HP missing, he has 2% more damage and 1% less damage taken. There is unfortunately one problem though. This is like a double-edged sword. He also reduces the recovery he receives by 1% for every 1% of HP he has lost. So it's like a double-edged sword. You deal more damage, you take less damage, but you also struggle to heal back up to where you need to be at. But if you look back at skill 1 again, I think it is gonna work because he has Endure. Sadly it's only 10 seconds, but this is a 4 mana cost, so maybe if you soul link him you can keep the Endure on him. It should be winnable, and he should be doing a lot of damage the lower his HP becomes. A very interesting monster. And then his passive is just the heal, continuous recovery and crit resistance. Book effect is attack and crit rate, and sadly I can't show effect 2 and 3 because you need to have them summoned to be able to check it, sadly. I showed it for the others because I had them summoned already, but for the LD ones I sadly can't. Then we have Grogen, the dark one. 165% attack as damage. Okay, then skill 1 attacks enemies within the area 3 times to deal damage based on its max HP and attack. The last hit has a chance to apply fear to the target within the area. I am not sure, I hope this is... It sounds like it's a single target. It sounds like a single target. This attack ignores the target's beneficial effect and reduces the damage taken. So it's a 5-second fear, not bad at all for a 5 mana cost. Then we have skill 2, which is the AoE, attacks 3 times based on its max HP. Each hit has a chance to strip and applies Undead with a certain chance. This attack ignores death denial effects, and the target becomes unrevivable, so pretty good. It's a 5 mana cost, like a lot of the dragons has high mana cost, but having a triple strip is pretty nice. And then next we have his passive. When its HP is below a certain ratio, applies fear and undead to enemies around it upon getting hit by a skill. Increases the damage dealt when attacking LD monsters or enemies, and he also takes more damage from RGB, from fire, water, wind monsters. So when he's below 50% health, he can fear and do undead every 15 seconds whenever he gets hit by a skill. And when he attacks LD attribute enemies, he gets 40% more damage. That's a lot. But he also takes 20% more damage from fire, water and wind. This is a lot of damage increase that he gets. I wonder how hard he can hit with his skills. Next we have the ultimate. This attacks 5 times. It's similar to skill 2. Unrevivable, ignore, death denial effects, strip, a lot, 50-50 chance, and does undead. His book effect is at HP and crit damage. Seems pretty good. Seems like the dragons will be pretty interesting. They have high mana cost, but I do think they bring a lot of value for the team. We'll see how it goes. Maybe if they are bad, in some situations sometimes the devs bust them, so we'll see how it goes. I will be keeping an eye out on the Korean server, how people are using it, and if they are very popular. But that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments down below which dragon you are thinking of summoning on. And take care and stay safe. Peace out, peace out, peace out.